Most students lose points on this free response question for one simple reason. They confuse displacement with total distance traveled. And if you do that on part C, you're going to lose points. So let's make sure that that doesn't happen. By the way, if you're studying for AP Calc, hit that like button to get this video in front of more students. All right, here's the setup. We're given the velocity function v of t, and it's defined as a piecewise function over time. So from 0 to 4, we have the polynomial function. From 4 to 6, the velocity is 0, so the car is completely stopped. And from 6 to 12, we have a cosine function, which is definitely going to matter later. Now, everything in this problem comes back to interpreting velocity correctly. Part A says find the acceleration of the car at time t equals 1. So immediately we're thinking acceleration is the derivative of velocity. So this part is actually the easiest one if you recognize it that way. So we're going to first differentiate the velocity function to get the acceleration function. And then we substitute 1 into the acceleration function and then simplify, and we get 12. And since there are units in this problem, I recommend putting the units on your answer. And since the units for velocity are feet per second, the units for acceleration are going to be feet per second squared. Even though we don't have the scoring rubric at the time of this recording, typically problems like this, you're going to be awarded 2 points, 1 point for the correct derivative and 1 point for evaluating it correctly. Let's move on to part B. Part B asks if the car is speeding up or slowing down. Now, this is where students start to hesitate because you have to think about two things here. We need both velocity and acceleration. The velocity at 1 second is going to be 9, which is positive, and the acceleration at 1, which we already know from the previous problem, is positive as well. So since velocity and acceleration have the same sign, that means the object is speeding up. So the car is speeding up. This is probably going to be another 2-point part, 1 point for the correct answer and 1 point for the correct explanation. If that sign idea clicks for you, you're already ahead of most students. Part C is asking us to find the total distance traveled from 0 to 4, and this is where most students are going to lose points. And that's because distance is not the same as displacement. Distance means we talk about the absolute value of velocity. So our integral for this situation is going to be the integral from 0 to 4 of the absolute value of velocity. But here's the key. This function stays non-negative on this interval. So we can integrate this directly without having to break apart the integral. And then the antiderivative, and then we'll evaluate that at 0 and 4 and subtract. Now evaluating the antiderivative at 0 is just going to produce 0. Also, it's okay to leave your answer in the unsimplified expression form. That's totally fine. You're likely to make a mistake and you'll waste a lot of time. If you're wondering, that comes out to 512/15. Also, it's going to be really important to, at some point, indicate that the velocity is positive on this interval, so the total distance traveled actually does equal the displacement on the interval 0 to 4. This is likely a 3-point part, 1 point for using the absolute value, 1 point justifying why you don't need it because the velocity is non-negative on the interval, and 1 point for the final value. There may be an optional 4th point here for getting the antiderivative, but again, we don't know because we don't have the rubric. So this is where the AP exam tests your understanding, not just your ability to compute an antiderivative. If that distance versus displacement idea is new to you, comment distance below. I want to see who caught that. Part D asks us to figure out the average value of the velocity from 6 to 12. So we're going to use that average value formula. The average value formula is 1 over b minus a times the integral from a to b of f of x dx. You don't have to write that down. I'm just showing that to you. So in this context, we're going to use the velocity function. Also, be careful. The interval is from 6 to 12. Don't miss that. Now, this looks like it's going to be pretty messy, but I want to give you a way to figure out if you're even in the right ballpark. If you look back up at the graph, on the interval 6 to 12, notice that the velocity is negative that entire time. So the average velocity should be negative. So if we get an answer that is not negative, we know we did something wrong. Now, back to the problem. We're going to have 1/6 here times the antiderivative. The antiderivative, we have to use u substitution, but you can do that in your head. The antiderivative of cosine is sine. This is going to have a pi thirds t. But since the cosine doesn't have pi over 3 as a coefficient, we multiply by 3 over pi times the 10 that's already there, minus 10t. And then we're going to evaluate that from 6 to 12. But something interesting happens here. The sine terms are actually going to cancel out. So now I just plug in 10 and 12 and subtract. I'm going to simplify the 10 times 3 over pi and make that 30 over pi. So we'd have 1/6 times 30 over pi sine. If I plug 12 in there, 12 pi over 3 is just going to be 4 pi. Minus 10 times 12 is 120. Minus the function evaluated at the lower limit. So if I plug in 6, I would have 30 over pi, sine of 2 pi. Minus 6 times 10 is 60. Don't forget to put parentheses around that because you're subtracting those quantities, and everything is multiplied by that 1/6. Here's the wonderful thing about this problem. Sine of 4 pi is just 0. Sine of 2 pi, also just 0. So this is where knowing your special trig values comes into play because you don't have Desmos on this part of the exam. So we would have 1/6 times just negative 120, then minus negative 60, so plus 60, which is just going to simplify to negative 60 times 1/6 is going to give you negative 10. And the units on our answer are going to be feet per second because we're doing average velocity. So likely this is worth 2 or 3 points, 1 point for the correct setup, 1 point possibly for the antiderivative, and 1 point for the final correct value. So the biggest takeaway from this free response question is this: pay attention to what you're actually finding. Distance versus total displacement, velocity versus acceleration. These small differences are where points are won or points are lost. If this walkthrough helped, make sure you subscribe for more AP Calc help, and let me know in the comments what was the trickiest part for you.